Hi, welcome back. This video I want to talk about one of the basic skills that you're going to use on the next project. It's going to involve making selections of things, filling those selections in on a new layer with some paint, dragging those painted layers over to another document and making manipulations to them and rearranging them in such a way that you get an interesting work of art. That's a lot of skills, and I'm going to cover them over the course of 3 videos. This first video, I just want to talk about preparing your image to make selections. Alright, so what is a selection? We've got selection tools over here on the toolbar. We've got one that's called the marquee selection tool, rectangular marquee tool. It looks like this dotted box. We've got one that's called the lasso tool, which looks like an old-fashioned cowboy's lasso. And if you click and hold on it, there are a couple other options, polygonal lasso and magnetic lasso. Then we've got the magic wand tool. More than likely yours is defaulted to this. It looks like a paintbrush with a dotted circle. This is called the quick selection tool. If you click and hold on it, there's another tool hidden underneath it, which is called the magic wand tool. And then last, but certainly not least, it's actually one of the more powerful selection tools, is under the select menu. Up here on the top is the select menu. And we've got one that's called color range. I'm going to demonstrate how to do all of these selections in the next video. This video, I just want to prepare you to learn how to make those selections. In order to make these selections, it really helps to have a high contrast black and white image. I'm just going to demonstrate something with the magic wand tool. When I click on in the image area with my magic wand tool, what it does is it brings up these dotted lines, or what the Photoshop developers called the marching ants. And what these selections do is they allow you to work only inside of the selections but not outside of the selections. Well, it can be kind of difficult to make a good selection from a low contrast image. A low contrast image means that there's not much difference between the darks and the lights. So what we want to do is eliminate some of the variables that make it difficult to make a good selection. So first of all, we want to take the color out. Color is a variable that can confuse the magic wand tool. So I'm going to go to Image, Adjustments, Black and White. So once again, Image tab, Adjustments, black and white. And then just click OK. And it gives us a black and white image. It takes all the color information out of our photograph. The next thing that we want to do is make it high contrast. We want to eliminate some of those grays and have a lot more blacks and whites in the image. To do that, we need to do something called a curve. So we'll go to Image, Adjustments, Curves. Curves will bring up this panel here. This panel has this diagonal line, and it's got a whole bunch of other stuff that we're not going to worry about for now. All we're going to worry about is this diagonal line. This diagonal line is what's called our tonal curve. Right now it's got a straight tonal curve. If we click on this line and drag, if I drag upward, you can see my image starts getting lighter and lighter. The light areas get lighter. Okay, so I can force the tonal curve to go more towards the high end, or if I drag it low, it goes more towards the dark end. What I'm going to do is make my lights very, very light, and I can do that by dragging the curve upward. And you'll see there's a little dot right there. That little dot is the handle that I clicked and dragged on to move the tonal curve upward. I'm going to make another dot on this tonal curve and drag downward and make my darks darker. Eventually, making it so that I have a almost vertical line, or even kind of an S curve in my tonal curve. Okay, so I'm going to try and eliminate as much of the gray as possible and still maintain enough detail in my picture to have something interesting. So I've got 2 points on the line. One was dragged up and one was dragged down, and that gives me a high contrast image. Click OK. This is what we want to have to prepare our image for the selection process. I'm going to do this on another picture. Here's another picture that I found of the Eiffel Tower. It's already black and white, but I'm going to still just go over here, Image, Adjustments. Oh, hey, black and white's not available. This image is already in something called grayscale mode. You might see this come up. Let's take a look at these top tabs of these images. It says Untitled 3 at 50%. That means it's currently zoomed in at 50%. Then it says Layer 1, comma, RGB 8. That means that I'm working on layer 1 and that layer is an RGB 8-bit image. RGB stands for red, green, blue. In other words, it's got color information that's possible. So I can grab a color and I can paint on it. Okay, it's RGB. I can add colors to it. You might have a situation, and you might have already seen this before, where it's layer 1 gray/8. That means it's grayscale. I could come over here and pick any color that I want and start painting, and hey, that's gray. I'm going to try this again. Find another color, red this time, and paint. Hey, that's just dark gray. That's not fair. Well, a grayscale mode image cannot support color at all. So if you ever see this happen, what you need to do, if you ever see gray 8, go Image, Mode, RGB color, and then don't flatten. Now I can go to prepare my image for selections, Image, Adjustments, Curves, drag the curve up to make my lights light, drag the curve down to make my darks dark, and try and get that curve to be more of a vertical line. I'm going to go more towards the right side. On this, if I go more towards the right side, it's going to go towards the dark end. And then click OK. Now I've got two images that are very high contrast, black and white images. And that prepares us for the next stage of this project, where we're going to make selections, paint inside of those selections, drag them over to another document, and make arrangements with them.